a moment just to bring your awareness to the fact that you've taken a moment for yourself. And if it feels okay and part of your practice, bring the hands just to the heart space. Bring that awareness into the heart space. And at the same time down into feet. And as much of the sensations in your body as you can for a moment. And just find your breath. Just breathe into that awareness. And if you've arrived with a busy mind, you're going to take a moment just to let it go past. There's a busy road outside where I'm recording. I often say, just think of it as the car's going past. We don't need to know what colour. There's a bus, we don't need to get on it. Just kind of in that space, watching the mind go past. Feeling the body and the breath. Then just notice knees and hips for a moment. And as you're standing, just notice, where are my sit bones and my hips? And we're going to start just moving really gently, but we're going to move into the start of a chair pose. So think about there being a stool behind you that you're going to put your butt on, just press back. And if you feel the hips coming forward, just really gently untuck, press them back. And just feel the muscles in your legs. Make sure that we're not arching the spine too much, so it should feel quite neutral. Muscles are there, but no pinching. If you're feeling a little bit stronger, reach the arms up in line with your ears, so just find that space. If it feels too strong, bring the hands back to the heart space. We're going to lift back to standing, just slowly reach up, feel the breath, reach into that space. And think about a line from the outside edge of your feet to your fingertips. Breathe along it, and then bring the arms down slowly. And reach them around behind, and just work your shoulders gently down. We're not forcing them down, we're just, if you wear them up around your ears, we're just encouraging them down. Tuck the chin in, nice and close to the base of the throat. Take a couple of deep breaths there, up under the collarbones. Feel connected, hopefully, into that space. And encourage yourself, lots of active listening, really let fingers go. Lots of listening and allowing yourself to kind of do bits of, some of, really deeply listen to your body in this next sequence. What does it need today? As we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. We come back through that chair pose, so sink it back. Then we're going to turn back into a forward fold. So bring the hands down, soften behind the knees, let the head drop. And really soften, really let go, as if your upper body could just kind of head towards the floor. As you do that, as you kind of get into that space, think about the spine, letting go, deepening the breath. Quite a bit of softness behind the knees, they might be quite bent, especially if they're a bit sore, a bit tender in the hamstrings. Yeah, find your hands on the floor and walk your feet back. Initially into a plank, but we can bring our knees down. Okay? So wrists under shoulders, heels press back. Feel that sense of engagement long along the spine. Then we're all going to drop our knees, flatten your feet, and just bring the hips back over the knees. And then walk the arms away to bring the heart towards the floor. Chin tucked in. Notice the space between your shoulder blades. See if we can get that space to release. Long, deep breath here. Then when you come forward, press of the elbow towards the front of the mat, slide down the inside of those arms, pause, flatten the feet, roll the shoulders down, just lift the chest and the head just enough to feel your muscles working in your spine, just gently warming up. Lots of listening, we don't want that back to pinch. And so breathe into that space. Then our elbows out, chin tucks in, roll it back. And tuck your toes under as you come up. We're going to sit back onto our feet. So initially the toes are tucked under, it's not going to feel very comfortable, team. So I'm going to go to the side, sitting like that, stretching into feet. Here in Aotearoa it is winter, it is arriving, so we've started wearing boots. You might not be barefoot quite so much, and so feet can really feel that, so we want to stretch them out. Then we bring our hands down, bring our knees out to the edge of the mat, staying with the feet. We're going to tuck the toes under again and rock up onto the ball of the foot, heels touching and knees out. And our hands can be down for balance or at the knees. And just think about the line from the crown of the head down to the base and just kind of balance as much as you can balance there. Work with the breath, so feel that breath moving and really kind of letting that space open up. We can come down whenever we need to, so lots of permission. You can also take rest. Monty is our demonstrator for rest today, as usual. And we're going to come down, bring the knees down, flatten the feet, and pull the hips back towards the heels. And just take it back slowly. And as you do, bring the heart towards the floor, bring the head down. We can fold the forearms, or we can create some traction. Work the arms away, really feel that sense of stretch and length. Then coming up slowly, we're bringing the knees back under us, and this time we're sitting back with our feet flat. Now, for some of you, you might need a cushion or two or three between your thigh and your calf muscle to be able to do this. So don't kind of yank yourself down, make sure we've got that real sense of support there. We're going to sit Vajrasana. The name of the pose, and it's an interesting one if we think about recovering from everyday life, especially if you spend a lot of time like this or like this, and that makes us sit quite straight and it gives the back a chance to come back into a natural alignment. And a lot of my focus, you'll find, is on finding your alignment, not what I think it should look like. I can't see you for a start, but also going, oh yeah, what's my natural spine alignment? So first thing is making sure that our pelvis isn't tucked under. We're able to sit and lift and drop the shoulders. And find that line, crown of the head right through to the centre of the pelvis. See if we can sit along it. The knees hurt or your feet hurt, sit down into something comfortable seated instead. So lots of options. And just feel that line through the body, and especially we want to focus for the next few breaths under the ribs, where we're often as our slouch point. So think about that lift and breath and bringing that energy into the body. So we're breathing, but we're also kind of getting rid of those tensions that sometimes make us feel exhausted just being in a body. So breathe, a couple more breaths here. Then we're going to come forward and take the left foot and step it up to the front of your mat or a towel, whatever you're practicing on. Hands to the inside or one either side of that foot. Make sure we feel comfortable as we lean into the hips. So little low lunge. We're going to lift the chest and feel that same line. So we're working on feeling crown of the head straight through the centre of that pelvis. We have a tendency in this one to end up collapsed, so lift into it. Big deep breath. We're turn it into a high lunge, so tuck the back toes under and lift up. Press the back heel back. We're turn wide on the mat, so come around slowly, moving the feet, bringing that back heel down. Wide leg forward fold, and just let your body drop down slowly. So soften the knees. Those that have been practicing the first two sequences will know that there's a lot in there about softening your knees, making sure that we're feeling like we're not forcing the body into shapes. So keep your hands down to take some weight, take the weight to the outside edge of your feet. Then just work your way down. If you're real natural at forward folds, you might already be there. If your hamstrings are going, I hate these, then go gently, ease into it. Try and let your arms and your head go at some point so the spine gets some stretch. You come back around to this front foot, so this left foot, turn onto the ball of that back foot, so we're back in a high lunge. Bring the back knee down. Wriggle that left foot out and coming up into tiger's tail. So that left foot is lifting up. We're easing along the spine, lifting the chest. Now we want to feel a couple of things. There's work going on in the glutes, but also along the spine. So feel just enough for your body. Those of you might have seen this one where they put their foot on the back of their head. They being a lot of the Instagram yoga crew. I'm not one of those, but hey, if it goes there, keep it high, all good. Bring that knee down, and right foot takes a step forward. And again, we're just going slowly into that low lunge. Hands can be to the inside, or one either side. We're dropping forward and down, and just feeling for that stretch, and activating. Now, you might notice that I'm on my fingertips when I activate this way. Arm length's a really big thing with this, especially when you've got the boobs as well to get factor in. So, if you've always been told you must get your hands flat, no. Okay, so if you've got kind of arms like mine where this length here, they don't reach. So come up onto those fingertips, especially if it means you can really work along that spine. Let's turn it into a high lunge, so tucking those back toes under and pressing back through that back heel. Rather than a forward fold, this time what we're going to do is step back into plank. So kind of wriggle around into plank, remembering we can bring knees down. And then what we're going to do is lift into down dog. And instead of it, when I say lift, it's from the hips. So if you're used to pushing with your arms, try and lift the bum up. And then ease the heels towards the floor. And it's not unusual to feel like you need to step your feet forward. Leave them where they are. And use the hips to pull back. You're using the proportions of your body. Those heels might never touch the floor. They don't need to. And then think about your tailbone, so that line from the crown of the head to your centre of your pelvis. See if you're tucking under. And just very gently untuck. Big deep breath, let the head relax. And then come down and down through the knees. and around to seated. And we're going to take our legs out in front and sit in Dandasana, so feel a sense of connection, hands down alongside the body, toes just pointing up, shoulders eased down, tuck the chin in, and again, hands. So if you're kind of waving at the floor, there's nothing wrong with you. It's an arm neck thing. If you've got a bend at your elbow, there's nothing wrong. This is about the proportions of our body. So find comfortable for your hands and roll shoulders kind of up and down and around. And just bring that chest up. Long deep breath. Our active feet, not like we're pulling them back hard towards us, more like there's a wall there and we've got them against the wall. You may take these arms and reach them out in front. Initially, palms facing each other. Reach them forward. Just breathe. Turn the palms up. Bring fingertips onto our shoulders. We're going to roll some circles. So exhale as the elbows come as close as we can get them. Inhale as we come around and open that chest space up. So exhaling, inhaling. Really feeling that space across the front of the body. Change that direction, go round the other way. One more circle, so just slow, lots of control, lots of breathing. As arms come down alongside the body, just let those sensations into your awareness. If your body's starting to feel sitting like this, then that's quite normal, but if it starts to feel like too much, just come into cross-legged or something more comfortable. Another couple of breaths here. Then we're going to bring this left knee up and in towards the belly. And draw up the shoulders, so again we've started to hunch up. And as we draw it in, we're going to press into it at the same time with the belly so that we're lifting up and along it. Feel that activation. And then, so this is the left leg up, we're going to bring this right hand or right elbow to that left knee. Come around into a twist. This is a gentler version. Some of you might have seen the more pretzel-like version. Not today. Turning to look over that left shoulder and take your gaze around as well, so that little muscles around the eyes are getting a wee bit of a stretch. Bring it back to centre, take that left leg and stretch it down along the mat again, bring the right foot in. And again, start slow, so if you just went straight round into the twist, come back and bring that knee in there. Two things, two sides to that. One is giving the first side of the twist a chance to release, but the other is to just take our practice slower and our mindfulness slower. And if you've come from an exercise base or a gym base, you're so used to doing the next thing and the next thing, and yoga has unfortunately taken a lot of that on. And what we want to do is we want to slow it all down, and so just kind of be mindful of what is it like to hold onto my leg. How's my breathing? Can I lift up? Using that anchor of that right foot. Then the left hand or the left elbow comes around, and just turn and look over that shoulder. Find your breathing, find those sensations. a little bit like when you do a session like this, and it's really tempting to leave out Shavasana or to leave out the meditation aspect because we're in such a rush. It's really good to remember that these practices, these physical practices, were all about getting us ready to meditate as we come back around to centre and legs out in front. They served no other purpose, and we've lost that in modern yoga a lot. And so I'm going to rub our knees for a moment and just notice how your body's feeling. There's been some movement in different parts. We're keeping the session relatively short. You might have some favourites that you want to tag in here, in which case now's the point to pause, okay, and to do those and then come back to the Shavasana and the meditation at the end. But I really encourage you to try the Shavasana, to try just kind of taking that rest. And so what you're going to do is you're going to lie yourselves down. And I'm not today, because vocally it's quite hard lying down. So you're going to lie down and you're going to get comfortable. So the first thing is a lot of people, depending on that natural shape of the spine, can't lie with their legs out straight. So if that's you, tuck your feet in. If you need a blanket or to put some socks on, do that. And put my socks on. And think about the length of your neck. So you're going to tuck your chin in so that the back of your head is nice and supported, but the neck is nice and long, chin slightly tucked in. And then you've got the floor underneath you, wherever you are, and let your body rest into the floor. And that can take a moment just to feel the floor underneath you, feel like your body can relax. And at this point, kind of notice your mind. Is it wanting to speed off and do the next thing, in which case, notice that your mind is wanting to speed off and do the next thing. And instead of speeding off to do the next thing, bring your focus to your breath. And just the really simple practice of inhaling, feeling that pause, and then feeling the exhale arrive. Pause, and feeling the inhale arrive, feeling that pause, feeling the exhale arrive, finding the rhythm of your breath. And each exhale, slowly letting that floor and you get a little closer, tension rolling out of the body. And think about the earth underneath that floor. Depending on how many floors up you are, that might be a wee way away. Think about the earth underneath you. Think about the ancestors of the place that you are practicing within. Take a moment to think about belonging for you in your body, but in your space as well. Think about the yoga that you've just practiced and the ancestors of that yoga from India and the journey that it's had to this recording and to you where you are. And the long, long stories that go with yoga practice. And let yourself feel a sense of connection and of honouring of both those connections to the earth underneath you, where you are, and to the ancestors of yoga. Now notice your body again, just resting. Rest being a really powerful practice. Rest letting us recover, rejuvenate, and also sometimes to vision, to gain insights. So let rest be all of those things and simply itself, just resting, breathing. And this is another point where if you have the time, and maybe this is a good point to contemplate why you don't or do have the time, to pause the video and to meditate a while. You might lie where you are, you might come up to seated. And now is a beautiful time to spend some time in that practice. Simply breathing, being in your body, present to it. You might also take a nap at this point. If that's not the case, then we're going to start moving slowly, just gently. Start by moving your fingers and your toes. And feeling that movement come through your body. And being careful that you're not already in the next thing. So just concentrate on that movement. And we're going to slowly lift our arms up towards the roof, the ceiling, wherever you are, might be the sky. And then if your arms reach out towards the floor, over your head, do that. If they get a little bit stuck, if your shoulders are really tight, pause for a breath where that stuck point is, and then bring the hands back alongside the body instead of over the head. If you haven't already got your feet tucked in, walk your feet up the mat. Just feel your soles of your feet. You might be in socks, if your toes are wriggle in your socks. I'm going to turn onto our left side, if that's alright for your body. And pause there, rather than rushing up. Just take a couple of breaths, be there. And then slowly lift yourself up to seated. And it might be open cross-legged, might be legs out in front, whatever's comfortable for you, and sit for a moment. Feeling that line from the crown of your head down through the center line. Then we're going to reach our arms up. So big inhale up, and again, depends on those arms and shoulders. Bring the palms together and bring the hands to the heart space, right back where we started. Bring some of that energy into the heart. Just feel the breath, so you'll be able to feel the breath with your hands, and your thumbs might be able to feel your heartbeat. And many blessings from this mat to you, wherever you are practicing. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Monty, for holding space. I look forward to recording something new for you soon.